Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good evening. Good morning. Whatever part of the day you in, man, is Lord Brunson, and I got a special guest. This is a real special day for me in particular because I've been doing this for like 5 years. We got the views, we got the subscribers, but this is the first time I talk to a guy who's preparing for that next level. And I'm glad it's this guy that we about to introduce, man. My guy, Charles Wiley. He goes by Chuck sometimes, so I'm gonna stick with Chuck. My guy, Chuck Wiley, man, defensive end, UTSA. It's an honor to have you on, man. How you feeling?
Feeling good. Thank you for having me.
You already know, man. So, we're going to dive into this. I actually made a critical mistake, man. I'm going to keep it all the way 100. I'm like, let me look this guy up. Somebody sent me information, and I see some old Miss tape. And I'm like, damn, I thought he played for UTSA. Then I realized it's the same guy. Then I look at the UTSA tape, because listen, the old Miss tape that I saw, I'm like, dude, it's official. Like I like it. I like the power at the point of contact. I like the aggressiveness. I like the length. I like the size. I'm like, this dude is something. Then I look, and you got better at UTSA. So how did that happen? Like, what was the transition like from going from Ole Miss over to UTSA, and what did you learn during that process?
You learn a lot of things. You learn a lot of things about yourself. Being at Ole Miss, I was roughly 4.5, 5 hours away from home. UTSA is 16 hours away. So, I was, by myself. My first season there, my parents couldn't make a game. It was also during COVID. So you start learning a lot about yourself, learning a lot as a man, just being able to work day in and day out, and just knowing like, you got to have your own back sometimes because, I was new. I was the odd man out. I was like one of the only people that transferred at that time. And, just going out, just make sure every day that, I solidified myself day one, that I stepped on the field and just showed that, I can be a presence no matter where I'm at.
So the transfer was more of a regional thing for you. You wanted to be closer to the home.
Um, Not really. For me, it was just like, UTSA is it's only had 11 seasons of football. It's a fairly new football program. I wanted to be part of something that I could definitely say was my home, something that I can say like, I aided in it. I was the first class. I was the first team to win a championship, a conference championship. So, I'm always going to forever have that under my belt. Um, and, just being able to just go out and just being able to be me and
Mhm.
show that, hey, I'm a guy.
Right, I feel you because at Ole Miss that comes with playing with a bit of history. You go
Right.
over to UTSA, you know what I mean? You that guy because you guys were breaking some records, man. Y'all were punishing people, man. I saw highlights from the game. Didn't you guys beat Lamar like 54-0?
Yes, we did.
That was crazy to me. I'm like, and it
Uh,
was all aspects of the game.
it was our first shutout win. Um, it was a great feeling. It just shows that the trials and tribulations that the school has been through, and just the overall work that we put in on a day to day, and it just showing like that last season just showed on the field just what we have been doing the entire off season.
Mm. So I have a question for you. How is your training going? Because I got like an eye popping number that I'm going to tell the viewers about in a few minutes because you ran like a 4.51. That's like ridiculous for your position. So like, what are you doing to be
Uh,
that fast? Like, how's training going?
well, really, like so even with that, like that was they just go off of. I had a time all the way down to 4.46. They just go
Wow.
they just go off of, they kind of pick out and they just see like, okay, what do people, but there are people that clocked me at a consistent 4.4 on both of my times. But I didn't go to any fancy training facility. I stayed right at the school, trained, grind every day as hard as I could, consistently 5 days a week. The other 2 days that I was making sure I was rehabbing as hard as I could, just staying on the grind consistently. But everything that I did was, this was me. I had to wake up. Nobody was telling me to wake up. I had to eat correctly. I was fixing my own meals. I was doing everything on my own.
So you're very, very disciplined. You're very disciplined. Already from watching your tape, I can tell that there's a very high work ethic. Where do you get that from? Do you get that from family? Is it somebody in your family that you could directly contribute that to? Because now I'm hearing you talk. Not only do you have the work ethic, you have the discipline, and that usually equates over and translates over well to the next level. So you're already miles ahead. But who would you say is directly responsible for instilling these things in you?
Both of my parents, just seeing both of my parents as I grew up, just trying their absolute hardest to just keep me and my brother in a great situation in life. And I've seen my dad work 12 hours straight, get 2 hours of sleep, work another 12 hours straight. I've seen my mom, take a ungodly amount of classes so that she could finish up school as fast as she could, stressed about those things. So I know that if they were able to do it and prevail through those things, I know that anything that the Lord puts me through, I'll be able to get through it.
I totally agree with that, man. And I see that all over you. I see it's like a burning desire when I watch your game. So I really can't put you in a box as far as who I can say you remind me of. Now, a lot of people say Melvin Ingram. That's fair. I also like the Vic Beasley one. I know you kind of like looked up to his game plan as well, but I just think early on in your career, you just have like power that jumps off the screen at the point of contact. So are you comfortable moving inside? How much have you played inside in your college career?
Inside backer?
Well, like inside, like inside backer, yeah.
Oh, I'm comfortable doing anything. I've played these last 3 seasons, I have played consistent and very good snaps at middle linebacker, outside linebacker, pretty much every position. A true defensive end position, outside backer, where you drop in coverage. I've gotten consistent pressures, and I've gotten sacks at the nose guard position. So I played every position in the box.
That's ridiculous, man. So you're very, very versatile. So you can play in almost any system. And in Philly, we look for guys who, we can move around at, in particular points of the game like that. So we got some big names on the defensive line in Philadelphia. You got like Fletcher Cox, guys like that, Brandon Graham. You remind me of Brandon Graham. You know what I mean? People ain't going to see it, but they're going to catch on slow, because I knew what Brandon Graham was going to be, before a lot of people did as well.
Sure.
How are you with taking advice? Learning from guys who've been around the block. You seem like a sponge to me. Like, it's nothing that I could point out that's bad about you. That's why this interview is so good for me. Like, you just seem like a sponge, man. Like, do you have an example?
I feel like this. If I have never been in that situation, and an individual has been in that situation numerous times, numerous occasions, and they've done really extremely well at those situations, why would I not listen to them?
Exactly.
That's, in my opinion, not to listen to them.
Right. It's like, why wouldn't you trust a mechanic? You're not a mechanic. You haven't been a mechanic that long. Trust a mechanic. He knows how to get it done. So you played local ball near Atlanta. What was your favorite team growing up?
Honestly, like for me, I was kind of I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit of a nerd growing up. I was kind of I never really had a specific team, because always what I would do growing up, I would always just break down football as I'm watching games. Like when I'm watching games with my dad, I'll look at like specific players and like, oh, look at this technique that they're doing. Look at that technique. So I can say that I wasn't necessarily into teams. I was more so into players growing up. But yeah, that's not really specific.
Right. So just like a student of the game, and you like pick little pieces of different people's games, and you like, I like that, I'll take that. So you're just a learner overall. So that'll definitely help you at the next level as well. What would you say? What motivates you? What drives you though?
Just, with God giving me this God-given talent, the God-given talent that I have, I feel like it would be disrespectful for me not to give it my all on a consistent basis with everything that I attempt to do. There are people in the world that may have ailments or just have, situations that don't allow them to be able to do the things that I can do. So, I try to do it for people like that. I try my, for my parents. Like I said, I've seen them time and time again prevail through so many different things. My dad was extremely poor growing up, and he's doing extremely well for himself now. And, I just look at those things like, if he could do it, I know that I can do it. And I, at the end of the day, you always got to let your haters be your motivators.
That's true. That's very, very true, man. That's
so many people
very true statement. Very
Yeah,
true statement, Chuck.
life told me I couldn't do it. Like on a consistent basis, told me I couldn't do it. So, they tell you don't, let negativity drive you, but see, it's hard for you not to do that.
Right. It's hard for you not to try to prove people wrong and to defy the odds in that aspect. So, Philadelphia is a big city. Most teams that you could possibly go to are big cities. How are you in those environments? Are you comfortable with a big city environment? Do you enjoy a smaller town that has a football team like Green Bay, or do you enjoy like a bigger city with all of the skyscrapers and all that, like a Philly, Chicago, something like that?
I'm extremely go with the flow. So like
Okay.
my environments, whatever I'm put in, I find the fun in it and I love it. So
Yeah.
from Atlanta, I remember just, I going through the city, you see all the crazy things, you see all the fun things, you see all
Uh-huh.
the people, the buildings. It's amazing. Just, I love it personally.
So with this draft coming up, they got you kind of projected in the third or the fourth round the last time that I checked. Do you feel like that's too low for you?
Look, I'm blessed for whatever opportunity that I'm given. They give me a phone call, I promise you I'm gonna step on the field and it's over with. I'm gonna make myself present
Right.
whatever round.
Right.
Regardless, as I'm not the person that's making that up. I can say whatever I want to about myself and compare film and do those things with other people. I can do that as much as I want to, but that's not what I do. So regardless of the situation, I'm gonna step on the field and I'm gonna give it my all. And I think my all is enough to do a lot.
I totally agree. So when I ask guys questions like this, I try to answer the question myself first, in case you ask me what do I think. And I had a really hard time, answering that question because it doesn't matter honestly where you're drafted at. If your number gets called, there's Hall of Famers from every round of the draft.
Hmm.
All you got to do is go out there and put your best foot forward as soon as you get your opportunity, and everything is going to fall into place anyway. So, with that being said, I know you don't have any specific teams. It's all about whoever calls your name because that's trust right there. That's trust. Like, I trust you to come in here and do something good. This is why I'm picking you here, with all the other things you have, that can't be taught, like the work ethic and just being a sponge. What are some areas of your game that you think you can improve in?
Uh, I think that I do need to work on my bend.
Hmm.
I need to work on my bend. That's something that I definitely need to work on, and I've definitely been trying to improve on that this off season and just leading up to, going up into these camps. Uh, my eyes. I think sometimes I can get caught attempting to beat up on my man so bad that I let the play kind of like over develop sometimes instead of just trying to just get off, get in play.
Hmm.
Um, and I mean, realistically speaking, I can improve on everything. I,
Yeah, yeah.
I can learn how to drop in coverage better. I can learn how to pass rush better. I can learn how to defend runs better. Regardless, I'll never be perfect. So I always need to be able to be getting better in every part of my game.
I agree. I actually love that answer. So, what would you say? You have a multitude of weapons, man. You got your toolbox is crazy, man. I've seen things from you at the level that you've been playing at that guys don't learn to like their third year. Like that power, the power that you got to be hitting the weight room for a couple years at the pro level to be able to achieve that power. You got it coming out of college. What's your strongest attribute? What is the one thing that you say that because when you bring up the bend, it's interesting you bring that up because with a guy with your speed, you're probably used to just running by guys, so you might not have to bend as much. So
Right.
what's the one thing that you think is your superpower, like that one thing you got locked down and it's going to translate over to the next level?
I can say I actually have a few things. I think that at my position at the outside backer, I don't believe that it's many outside backers that can play the run as good as I can.
Hmm.
Um, I think my bull rush is second to none. I think my bull rush is for my position. I think it's really hard to. I think you can put my bull rush up against some of the best bull rushes in this year's draft for
Hmm.
sure. Versatility. I think that me being able to be put
Yeah.
on different uh, being able to get put on so many different positions on the field and play those positions at an extremely high level. I think that that's something that's going to be able to help me carry over very well. And like I said, just being able to adapt to the situation at hand.
I agree. So, if you could improve one thing immediately, which one would it be? Speed or strength? If you can get stronger or you can get faster today, which one would you take?
Faster.
I knew you was going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. I mean, it makes sense, man. It makes sense because, like you said, from your linebacking position, your bull rush is second to none because you get off so fast and you already have the power at the point of contact. It's just fun watching you play, man. You know what I mean? I think you got a really, really high ceiling, man. The 40 time is just ridiculous to me, man. You're 6'3", so you can get your hands up in the passing lane. It's just a lot of things that you can accomplish for a multitude of defenses who need a guy at your skill position. So when the Philadelphia Eagles make that call and we getting Chuck Wiley, you know what I'm saying? I'm pulling up. I'm pulling up to
Hey,
get that jersey
hey,
signed, man.
first one. Come on. You
Right.
first.
I'm pulling up, man. But listen, man, I really appreciate you chopping it up with me, man. I know the fans are really going to dig this interview, and we're going to, dissect your game more, more, and more. And we're going to be waiting to hear your name called at this year's draft, man. Thank you again, bro.
Hey, thank you for having me for sure.
Yes, yes. I hope we do it again.
Hey, most definitely.
Uh huh.